What are your best first date tips for somebody starting the dating game late in life, late 20s plus? Remember that you are both there by choice. The other person most likely wouldn't be there if they weren't at least a little curious about you. With that in mind, relax. The movie Hitch put it really well. She already said yes, now your job is to not screw it up. That's great advice. You cannot stop it, you cannot stop it. Next subject. Me, relax brain, countless explosions inside the brain thinking about all the random crap and useless weird ideas to say or ask. This is so difficult for me to get through my head. I will spend an hour talking to a girl who I think is way out of my league and convince myself that either she's just being polite or whatever, instead of realizing that maybe she might be at least a bit interested and I need to show some confidence. Unless she's just there for a free drink/food. Your objective isn't to please them. Your objective is to be as genuine as possible to give them the necessary information to decide to go on a second date. This doesn't mean that you should aim to be unpleasant, it just means that you shouldn't compliment everything about them and bend over backwards to their every whim. That comes off as highly insecure. Your objective is to have fun, and make it fun for your date. My good first dates have always been the ones where we were just having fun doing whatever it is we were doing. But what if I am highly insecure? Call good game and make a new character, put more points into secure stat. I think this is good advice for anyone, but if you don't know the person very well, for a first date, I would suggest getting coffee or ice cream. Do not go out for dinner or something that takes long, because if you realize within the first 5 minutes you don't like them, it's going to be really hard for you to escape. Getting coffee can be short and sweet, but if you're really feeling them, you can then suggest doing something longer. Go for coffee but have something nearby you could go do if you're both feeling it. Be it a walk in a park to feed ducks or laser tag. If you're both having fun, see if she wants to go do whatever it is nearby. If you're not into it, just end it at coffee. Edit, I get it. Bread is bad for ducks. What movie do you live in where you go from coffee to feeding ducks in a park? I feel like coffee and ducks in a park go together more logically than coffee and laser tag. Forget the coffee. I am most confused by a place that has an area to feed ducks and also has laser tag. The ducks run the laser tag. They accept payment in bread. Bread coins. Haven't yet invested in them, but definitely considering. And then the bubble bursts, and you have an investment worth less than the currency of Zimbabwe. Ironically enough, the market of out of circulation Zimbabwe currency has been going up. Smile. Some kind of weirdo that brings a loaf of bread to dates on the off chance you need to feed ducks later? Why stops a place selling coffee from being close to a park? What wasteland do you live in where the concept of a cafe somewhere within walking distance of a pond is mind-boggling? Is it that hard to imagine? Are you serious? There's a park in my town right next to a street filled with bars, cafes, etc. If you realize within the first 5 minutes you don't like them, just lemon law them. It's a thing. As a mid-late 20s professional predominantly aiming to date other professionals, I always aim for 6 to 630 after work drinks. That way, if the date is going well, and you can turn it into dinner, or you can beg off as have to do XYZ tonight after an hour or so. Coming straight from work for the both of you can also provide a decent basis for a conversation. Mine usually went something like, how was your day? Greater than work in general, greater than traveling for work, travel in general, greater than hobbies outside of work. I probably had 10 to 15 of these first dates. Edit, autocorrect from mid-late to mid-afternoon frown. How many second dates though? Asking the question everyone else won't. 5 to 8? What is a mid-afternoon 20s professional? I'm guessing mid-afternoon is a replacement for late, so 26 to 27? I always went with grabbing a drink for the same reason. Can very easily turn into a few drinks, then grabbing food if the date goes well. If it's not going well, can take off after one. Breakfast is excellent for first dates. If you like the person, you could choose to do more with them and continue on your day. If things don't work out, you can both go your separate ways. It's normally cheaper than a dinner, and you don't even have to dress up that well because it tends to a relaxed atmosphere. Breakfast dates all the way. Also, brunch. Because it's early in the day, Having a drink or two is completely okay, and it's still cheaper than dinner. If you order alcohol at breakfast, people might think you have a problem. Bloody Marys or mimosas at brunch, though, and you're classy. Breakfast? Mate, I'm fucking useless until I've had breakfast. No way would I consider breakfast a social event. Need 3 cups of coffee and some food in me before I can contemplate talking on any serious level. Well, what about second breakfast? Less about first date and more about dating in general. Learn not to rely on external approval. Dating can be really hard, and sometimes you go on a bunch of first dates that never go anywhere, and that can lead you to spending time with people you don't really like for validation. It can be rough. It can be anxiety provoking and not fun. This largely depends on your personality, but if you're anxious, the repeated putting yourself out there is not fun. I bring this up because partnered people will hear dating and think fun. Because they are thinking of spending time with their partner. Talk about your passions with confidence and ask questions. Rent some confidence and/or passions if necessary. The company I rent from is called Guinness. One of my biggest passions is writing Excel macros. Whoa, easy there. You don't want her in bed with you too quickly. Luckily, I'm already married. Tricked her into thinking I was cool, and now she's stuck with me. Smile. I want the macro for that if possible. Sub create _ wife dim girl as string. Wife as string girl equals wife end sub edit. Don't tell me wife I made her a null string. My best advice is do something simple that you enjoy. I've always gone to a restaurant that I thoroughly enjoy because I could have had the worst date of my life, but the night is still a win due to you going to your place. My example? There is a little taco stand near Venice Beach in LA. I love their carnitas. I can take someone there, talk and get to know them. If we hit it off, awesome. If we don't? Still awesome because I got my tacos. There is no need to have an extravagant dinner or a whole evening planned for a first date. You are trying to get to know a person. No need to give your best capabilities on the first shot. Might as well make it a win for you regardless. To further expand on this concept, a lot of guys tend to become really nervous on the first date. I do it as well, because they want to impress the girl and want to be sure she likes them. If you think about it, the first date exists to see if you like each other. Putting yourself in the mindset of let's see if I like her removes a lot of pressure from yourself, which will likely lead to you being less nervous and to a better date overall. Just my 2 cents. Obligatory edit. My best Reddit comment yet is me giving dating advice even if I've been single for almost 2 years. Aha, classic Reddit. Yeah, I don't like to be impressed by a guy's money or fancy taste on a first date. I actually find it a bit unattractive. I just want to get to know the guy in a low-key setting. Ah, perfect. I'm broke and have nothing fancy. So, I'll see you at 2 on Saturday to head over to the dog park and watch them bark at each other. Can I come too? Only if you're broke, like dogs, and aren't the classiest of people. It's a very exclusive club that contains just 93.7% of the population. Listen. Really listen. Don't hear what the other person is saying and plan in your head what you're going to say next. Listen to what they're actually saying and then say something leading off from it, or ask a question about it. Conversation will flow far better. My wife and I met a friend who asked questions all the time. Not stock questions, but insightful tell me about your life questions. It impressed us in this subtle way to the point where we tried to use the friend name method when meeting new people. I realized that it's not hard to do, it's just getting your own ego out of the way and showing genuine interest in learning about another person's life. I would love for you to enlighten me on the friend name method. It's easy, be interested in what they have to say. It's okay if you don't feel a connection the first date, that's why it's called dating. Figure out what you like/dislike in someone you are romantically involved with, and don't settle into something just because you feel like your time is running out. Your 20s are when you are supposed to be finding yourself, so just have fun. Be comfortable. Know what you want out of life and be willing to openly share your philosophies and passions. Most importantly, ask her a lot of questions about herself and make sure to listen well. Ask relevant follow-ups and challenge her. And if at all applicable, reference something she said a while later. Just to prove that you listened and are superior to all the other lads. And always have a plan B if plan A fails. Chloroform does not count as plan B. Plan C. C for chloroform. If there's anyone out there like me who never really knew how to apply the extremely general advice of be yourself, this is what it means. It took me embarrassingly long to figure this out, like my early to mid-20s. But ever since, my dating life has been so easy. Do not ever try to tell someone what you think they'd like to hear. There are a million reasons why, but the most important one is practical. Keeping up with that is fucking exhausting. And eventually it's going to lead to a lot of heartbreak. But he's really attractive / cool / smart / funny, I need to make a good first impression. No you don't. I like to think of myself as a pretty rational guy, but I simply could not drill this concept into my brain. It took hundreds of Tinder / Bumble conversations and dozens of dates before I realized that there really are plenty of fish in the sea. So you should never hesitate to say what you truly feel or cut off a date or tell someone you don't like something they're into for fear of scaring them away. Because, honestly, you want to scare them away. The fucking last thing you want is the agony of texting / calling / hanging out with someone and you can't say what you really feel, and you sit there in silence while they say shit that you don't like. Here's an analogy. In certain areas of marketing that can get really expensive, like PPC, the text ads at the top of a Google search, or direct mail, for example, sometimes it's best to do something counterintuitive. That is, sometimes it's actually advantageous to make your ad / offer seem less attractive in hopes that you get a better conversion rate, and thus a lower cost per acquisition. For example, say you're trying to sell a personal loan for a bank. You're offering a $100 cash bonus for people who complete the deal. But the loan is only available to people who have 750 plus credit scores, and it's very expensive to process people's applications and run their credit. So the last thing you want to do is plaster free $100 bonus all over the place. You'll get a bunch of unqualified people clicking your ad and clogging up your call center, costing you money. So instead, somewhat counterintuitively, it might actually be best to make your offer less attractive so you know that the people who end up coming in the door anyway are more likely to be well qualified. So what does that look like in the dating world? Say you're on a date with a girl who's a bit of a free spirit. She says she's not looking for something serious, she really can't see herself ever getting married or settling down. If you feel the same way, then awesome, you've found yourself a winner. But if not, you may very well be tempted, as I suspect a lot of novice guys are, to play it cool and go along with it. I mean, that would be awkward to say that you do want a girlfriend, you do want to settle down a bit, right? That might scare her off. So you say, yeah, me too, pairing off into exclusive couples is so old-fashioned. I look at all my friends from high school who got married and I'm just like, what are you doing? And you both agree and the date is going so well. Until you're a few weeks in and you realize that, because you were afraid to say what you felt, you now have something you don't want at all, and now you're in for a really bad time. That's kind of an extreme example. But the point is, if you're inexperienced in dating, you may think it's about trying to impress the other person. When in reality it's about hanging out and being yourself, and hopefully after a long period of time someone won't be so repulsed by your opinions and personality that they actually stick around. If you're getting hundreds of conversations on Tinder / Bumble, you're doing spectacularly well. I'm actually fucking pissed because that anecdote is exactly what happened to me. I needed you a year ago, frown, also 27, so don't feel bad for learning late. Hey, I want to end the existence of all sentient life. Don't forget to brush your teeth before you leave. Put away the sweatpants. Speaking of pants, what are some good pants options that aren't jeans? Nice jeans. Another great dating tip, have good jeans. The best tip on the internet. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. It really is fucking astounding how far aesthetics can get you in life given correct networking and first impressions. Take advantage, suit up. A good pair of chinos is never a bad call. I find that when it comes to your late 20s, the intentions of the people you are dating can wildly differ. Some people are dating because they want to settle down quickly, get married in a year or less, and others are dating more casually. It's best to figure out what you want and what the other person wants as well as soon as you can. Also, as long as they don't have an allergy, find a good cologne. Don't go overboard on the compliments, especially in regards to her appearance. It comes off really strong and a big turn-off for a lot of women. And no sexual jokes / comments. I think most people, men or women, would appreciate a simple compliment about appearance on meeting the person at the start of the date if they have dressed up somewhat. For instance, if you go for dinner and you like their outfit, say so. I don't think it's a case of not complimenting the person, but as you said, very specific and persistent observations about their appearance would be overbearing. One or two is fine. I've just been on date where I've gotten too many compliments, it made me uncomfortable. Can we focus on something other than my appearance for a few minutes? You have very pretty earlobes. Panties drop. Even more so, don't be self-depreciating. I've been on dates where the person is always like, oh, I'm such a dumbass, like 10 times. Or always mentions, hee, I'm such a cheap person, or I can be an asshole sometimes. You'll see, and this is my favorite, I'm very blunt, I say it how it is. While you're trying to be yourself, you're also trying to present the best image of you to the world. Present yourself well, which means emphasize the good, and downplay the bad to some extent. You don't deserve them, they deserve you. In other words, don't put the other person on a pedestal. Just be yourself. If it doesn't work out, then they would have been a bad fit anyway. Worst thing you can do is get yourself in a hopeless relationship because you act like somebody you aren't during a date. Yes. Dating is about working out if you're compatible, not how can I get this person to date me. It's better to be single than keep dating someone that you have nothing in common with. Ask questions, don't just answer. I've been on too many dates where the guy sits there in silence and answers questions, never asking me anything even when there are long stretches of silence. Typical bad date conversation. Me, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Him, vanilla. Me, a classic. Smiles. Him, silence. Me, what do you like to do on your free time? Him, watch TV. Me, pauses expecting reciprocity. Him, silence. Me, any nice shows lately? Him, not really. I just watch whatever. Silence. Here's my date playbook. I find success with it, and girls I have dated have told me it makes them very comfortable, even if we weren't compatible. General rule, on any date night, have your place clean but leave a dish or two in the sink. If it goes amazing and you end up at your place, you want it clean but not staged. First date, do something with a short time limit on a weekday. Drinks after work, dessert on a Tuesday evening. Make it sound natural. Hey, I have pickup paperwork for work in her town on Tuesday after work real quick. Wanna grab a drink when I'm done? The time limit is important so you both know if it isn't going well, you have an easy out. No one gets ice cream, drinks, coffee for 3 hours. Hug them goodbye. Always pay, even if she offers. Second date, dinner out. Again puts a time limit but a longer one. Meet her at the restaurant and don't suggest extending the date regardless of how well it went. If they suggest it and you're into the person, of course go get that drink. Do not invite them back to your place. If and only if they break the contact barrier during the night, touched your arm during the meal, held your hand, stroked your arm, it may be time to try a little smooch at the goodbye, not making out, just a nice soft kiss on the lips. Lets them know you are romantically interested. Hey again. Third date, drinks again. Sit at the bar so you are hip to hip and talk. Watch for furthering body contact, reason you sit at the bar, her leg pushing up against yours, her arms touching your forearm, etc. Let her split the bill or buy a round if she offers. Watch her glass and drink at her pace. Do not get shit-faced. You've got a little beer courage, maybe time to make out a bit. Pace. Do not get shit-faced. You've got a little beer courage, maybe time to make out a bit. Fourth date, make or break date. If the kissing went well and she's communicating with you, invite her over for a home-cooked meal. If you do not cook on the regular, pick a recipe and practice it at least 3 times beforehand. Something everyone likes, eat chicken parm. Have an unopened bottle of wine on the table, an opener, and 2 glasses. Let them know that wine is on the table if she'd like a glass. If they are worth your time, they'll pour you one too. If they are not comfortable drinking on a date like this, on your home turf, it doesn't force their hand by having a glass already poured. Purposely be cooking when she arrives, about 30 minutes left till the meal is ready. 1. This is sexy. 2. It lets you have something to do to calm your nerves. Once she pours her glass, tell her I'm stuck at this stove, feel free to look around. She will, people are curious. This will also lead to her asking you all sorts of questions about your place, the stuff in it, and the people in the pictures. Oh, make sure you have pictures of friends and family. If you don't already, you should. It's a good reminder every day to yourself that you have people in your life that care for you. Have music on to cut the silences, not rap or pop, pick something classic. Otis Reading is my go-to, and scrub your bathroom. Remember, girls sit to pee. I have been told by multiple women that my clean toilet got me further than the excellent food. Do not suggest activities, just sit with them at the table when dinner is done and chat. Have activities out in the open though, board games, records, DVDs/movies. Ask them about their hobbies. If you share a common one, oh, we should do X together. But do not make plans right then. This lets her know if she decides to stay the night, you don't plan on the fucking run. 5th date, you know no activities she likes, go do one. Make sure it's something where you can talk, do not go to the movies. Have an afternoon activity ready to go and find a quick dinner option right near the place. Hey, let's go to Museum X this Saturday. There is a great taco joint around the corner too, we've got to try it. Always offer to pick her up, she will say yes. Make sure the activity is about 20 to 30 minutes away for time to talk and tell her she has one responsibility for the drive, she has to DJ, this will make her a little nervous that she has to try and impress you, a good very thing. Time the activity so you're done with dinner around maybe 7 to 8, early enough to give her a reason to invite you to head out for a drink or maybe back to her place, boo.p. Now you're on her turf, if you haven't gotten physical yet, you will now. Do not make her ask you to put on a condom, stop the physical stuff at an appropriate point and say you need to get a condom. This is huge, lets her know that you're wearing a condom because you want to, which means you've worn them in the past at your own insistence. If she says not to, run. Now repeat the process from date 1. Don't just keep repeating date 4 and 5, she'll think you're only in it for sex or worse, you've got nothing else going on. After you've slept together, be sure to always hold her hand, lets her know you want a personal relationship, not just a physical one. Once you're through the cycle twice, invite her out with your friends. Time to meet your worse halves. Go out to the bar, not dinner with them. Do it close to your house so you both can get a bit buzzed humping at the end. Do not ask if she likes your friends. 1. It just doesn't matter, and 2. She'll lie to you regardless. Don't make her lie to you. Keep this system up for the first 6 months. Text her a few times a day, but do not text non-stop or first thing in the morning. Replace that by calling her near the end of the day. She'll love that and won't annoy you with texts if she knows you may call later instead. Do not respond to every text or pick up every call. This isn't a game, but you've got to make sure you don't set the wrong tone that you have nothing else going on. Your time is important and it will make her feel even more special when you spend some of that important time with her. Do not text her drunk. Ever. We are dumb when drunk. You will regret it in the morning. If she texts you, respond with "Oh, that's cool, you're going to have to tell me all about it. I'm about to walk out the door though, heading to the bar with my friends. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Have a good night, smile." So. That's the system. Doesn't always get through all the steps, but I have been told that my dating manners, the system, were top notch and they always felt comfortable around me and the situations I put them in. Important note there, as the man, you are always putting your female counterpart into a situation she did not have a say in. It's very easy to make someone uncomfortable. Also, if you do online dating, do the ones where she has to message first. It's a world of difference. Oh, and swipe everyone right. It's a numbers game, you can always not respond if you're not interested. Good luck. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day and I'll see you next time with more stories.